Welcome everyone, I'm EroGuySensei, and today I bring you a review of Cornelica, Town of Succubi, requested by one of my viewers. And no, that's not me pronouncing Succubus wrong, that's the actual title. From the creator of Monster Girl Labyrinth, Dieselmine, Cornelica is actually their older title, released 2017, only about 3 months before the Labyrinth came out. If you think that's fast for 2 games, you haven't seen what RPG Maker can do, which is the game engine used for both titles. I actually reviewed the demo for Monster Girl Labyrinth about 3 months ago, and that reminds me, note that this one is also a review based on demo experience. If you want to see reviews based on full games, consider supporting the show on Patreon. Cornelica is an adult JRPG that tells a story of a young boy named Aru who gets lost in a world of succubus. I just want to point out that in the game, in Japanese, the boy is called Aru, but for some weird reason on DLsite's character description, he is called Ai, and I'm pretty sure that's not how it translates from Japanese. But right or wrong, I'm sticking with the Japanese version. The game starts from a bar, just like in Monster Girl Labyrinth, but this time instead of going to a ruin to search for people who never returned from there, our hero gets far more demanding tasks to fulfill. Aru's mother, who is also the owner of the bar, asks her son to go get drinking water from a nearby river for her customers? In middle of the night?
I want that son of a bitch dead.
Okay, that's it. Only 1 minute into the game and I have already lost all hope for the story. From the river, Aru picks up a funny looking stone, which immediately sends him flying into another dimension. Upon waking up from an unfamiliar forest, he is found by a cute looking succubus girl named Lily, who of course is there to be your companion and guide to this new world. Notice that Lily's Japanese name is actually Riri, but since it's a bit weird sounding in my ear and hard to pronounce, I used the English version on her. What I understand from the demo, she follows you everywhere and is supposed to stick with you for the rest of the game. The girl explains Aru some basics of the succubus world, mainly that everyone there feasts on human sperm as an everyday food for the body.
Nice.
That's quite relaxed way to say it, but that's exactly how the game treats its story. Nothing seems to be taken seriously, and everything happens in a very straightforward fashion. While it's not uncommon to see humans in the world of succubus, Lily, seeing how little the boy knows about her world, asks how he got there. Aru shows Lily the strange portal stone, which the girl recognizes to be a succubus cube, or in short SQ as the people call it in this world. I don't know why it's SQ instead of SC, the demo doesn't clarify the name any more than this, so just go with it. Aru, having just been granted an amazing opportunity to live in paradise, he instead wants to go back to his own world immediately, rather than have fun in the new world full of sex-hungry young babes. That's totally understandable, of course. Her mother is seriously waiting for that water delivery. I mean, come on, what's wrong with these stories in every adult JRPG? Could I get at least one hero who would actually acknowledge how lucky they are and accept the opportunity with open arms instead of being a total virgin about it? The boy doesn't even give a reason why he wants to go back, he just does, and that's the end of that conversation. When I said everything is very straightforward in the story, I really meant it to a point where it's not even funny or clever. Well, luckily we know that Aru can't go back to his world so soon, because that would pretty much mean the end of this game. To our convenience, the portal stone can only make one-time trip before rendering itself just an ordinary stone. Such stones come rare in this world, and because of it, the two have to find another way to take Aru back home. Their first clue brings them to a witch who will lend her power and offer an answer to their problem. And hey look, it's the same character from Monster Girl Labyrinth. By collecting enough, and I quote, magic energy, Aru can find his way back home. This is the plot for the game pretty much. The story by itself is nothing exciting, but I grant it a pass because it's not that bad either. It can be enjoyed if not taken seriously. Unfortunately, the game doesn't offer English translations, which means that for those who don't know Japanese, the story will be left in mystery beyond what I told here. Not only that, but the game, at least in the demo, didn't seem to give you much help on what to do exactly beyond what's discussed in dialogues. There's no quest menu or pictures to help you guess what to do next. However, for those who do understand Japanese, you can talk to Lily by pressing A and ask her what's your next objective if you feel lost. Luckily for everyone, there's small icons that point to right path like check marks. But then there's dialogue icons with 3 dots that may look important but often are not, and they may sway you on your path if you don't know what they say. Next, a quick mention about the game world. I actually like the world design here, it has some interesting places and characters in it. The main town you start in is very small but cozy, with handful of shops run by cute and sexy looking NPCs. No matter where you go, there's always something pretty to look at, whether it's a church, a house, a mansion or a forest. Cornelica is one of the few games made with RPG Maker that actually looks impressive in my eyes. Music, sound and voice.
こんなことをするのかってこうやってエッチをして魔力と一緒にチャームを吸い出すんだよ。
Cornelica offers relaxed, beautiful melodies to enjoy, which there's plenty in variety. It's easy to get immersed in the silly story and different events thanks to the great music playing in the background. When it comes to the sound design, things go downhill and fast. Characters grinding on each other sound like someone was rubbing hands together, and wet moisty sounds end up sounding the same, but with soap. It's nothing that makes your ears cry, but it comes out awkward, something which I could not bring myself to enjoy. Voice acting luckily helps to hide some of the weird noises during sex. Being exclusive to the hentai scenes, the voice acting elevates them well enough to enjoy. It actually allowed me to forget what's wrong with the sounds. Since this is an RPG, we naturally expect some combat from it. Well, strangely enough, the demo didn't offer any sort of combat whatsoever, which leaves me asking if the game even has it. This could be something that was introduced for the first time in Monster Girl Labyrinth. In the demo, everything was carried out by speaking to different characters, which began a conversation leading to a possible sex scene. Lily, your succubus companion, explains to you a game mechanic where a heart meter fills up whenever you get caught by the enemy. When the heart gets full at 100%, you lose the game and become a slave to the succubus. I wanted to try out the game over mechanic, if perhaps it held a hentai scene behind it, but there was absolutely nothing in the demo that allowed me to reach 100% without going to ridiculous lengths in order to achieve it. This literally means I could not lose in the game. In certain dreadful places, the meter starts to fill up on its own, but it's a very slow process not worth waiting for. I imagine that the heart is a mechanic holding real value in the full game, though failing to demonstrate it correctly in the demo is a great mistake I can't forgive. There is a mechanic in which you can talk to Lily by pressing A and ask her to suck out the succubus venom called Charm out of you by kissing. Sucking out the poison resets your heart, but it costs some mana in return. Instead of battling enemies, the challenge came in form of avoiding contact with them. The one and only mission given in the demo was to infiltrate a mansion belonging to a witch and avoid being spotted by its sexy security. The demo pretty much felt more or less like a visual novel with the ability to move around, though that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just expected something else from this title, that's all. Now, the only thing left to talk about is the hentai. With static images and animations here and there to boost the experience, I enjoyed the hentai to a point. The demo offered 3 hentai scenes which painted a really good picture for what the full game will offer. The characters are drawn well, though some can overshadow others by their level of detail. It's also strange to look at one character next to another and see clear difference in art style. There's an unfortunate lack of consistency, though I still found all the characters enjoyable to look at in the end. I very much enjoyed Lily's character design, and the witch in the mansion was also a pleasure for the eye to see. Their appearance reflected well with their personality, which was also well acted by voice. Knowing these 2 characters would stay close to me for the majority of the full game based on what I came to understand from the story, this is something I would positively look forward to. The hentai can be enjoyed both when animated and when just a static image, though some of the characters later in the full game do look a bit weird in my eyes, not quite to my personal taste. If you have seen my Monster Girl Labyrinth review, you can pretty much expect the same type of hentai from this one as well. Based on the marketing pictures and the demo experience, the hentai seems to only offer sex between the boy and the succubus girls. I can't say if there's any girl-on-girl action mixed in somewhere between, but one exception was shown in the demo. There was a scene of the main character getting pleasured by a machine, but just like me, if you don't feel hot for the main character, this scene can be a mostly unpleasant experience. Overall, while the demo left many questions unanswered for its gameplay aspect, the story and the hentai was something I enjoyed in the end. The world was also charming and interesting, something which I want to see more of. Cornelica Ton of Succubi is sold around $18 on DLsite, and while it's a little scary price to pay based on the demo, I would still recommend it, but only for those who know Japanese. Now if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to learn more about adult games in the future. If you want to see reviews based on full games instead of demos, consider supporting the show on Patreon. With all said and done, I'll see you in the next video.